Our relationship was always based on love and respect. But ever since I started earning more than my husband, something changed. He denies it, but I can see it. It's bothering him. Can money really affect a relationship? Find out now. For a long time, my marriage felt balanced. My husband and I always shared responsibilities and made decisions together, never worrying about who earned more. Or at least, that's what I thought. In the beginning, our salaries were about the same, and money was never an issue between us. But a few months ago, I got a big promotion at work. My salary increased significantly, and for the first time, I was earning much more than he was. At first, I didn't notice anything different. He even celebrated with me, saying I deserved it, and that he was proud of me. But over time, small things started to change. The jokes he used to make about who's paying for dinner started to sound different. When I suggested splitting the bill or covering something, he would refuse, but with a tone that felt off, like it hurt his pride. And little by little, I realized that something was bothering him. But why? I didn't understand. To me, this didn't change anything between us. But for him, it seemed to change everything. That's when I started noticing the real signs. At first, they were just small details, things that could easily go unnoticed. But once I started paying attention, I realized they were happening more often than I thought. Whenever we talked about the future, he avoided the topic of finances. If I mentioned investments or plans for the extra money we were making, he just nodded, but didn't seem as excited as before. Another thing that changed was the way he talked about his own job. He used to share his achievements and challenges, but now he seemed less interested in discussing them. When I asked how his day went, he would shrug it off, saying it was nothing special. One time, during dinner with friends, someone congratulated me on my promotion. Everyone cheered, and I saw a smile on my husband's face. But then he made a strange joke. "Well, I guess she's the boss at home now too, huh?" Everyone laughed, but I could tell. This wasn't just a joke. It was a real feeling. His insecurity was growing, and worse. He wasn't talking about it. That's when I decided to confront him directly. I waited for the right moment to bring it up. I didn't want it to turn into an argument. I wanted an open conversation. So one evening after dinner, I sat next to him on the couch and asked directly, "Babe, is everything okay? I feel like something has changed between us." He looked at me surprised. "What do you mean?" I took a deep breath. "Ever since my promotion, I feel like you've been acting differently. You avoid talking about money. You seem distant. I just want to understand what's going on." For a moment, he was silent. Then, he sighed and finally spoke. "It's nothing against you, but it's hard for me." I waited for him to continue. "I always saw myself as the provider, the man of the house. I know that sounds old-fashioned, but it's something I grew up believing. And now, it feels like I'm failing in that role." His words hit me hard. I had never thought about it that way. To me, our relationship was never about who earned more or less. But for him, this affected something much deeper, his identity. He didn't want to admit it, but he felt less important. What was I supposed to do? Pretend nothing was happening? Downplay my own achievement to make him feel better? No. I knew I had to find a way to show him that we were a team, not competitors. The conversation that night stayed in my mind for days. I wanted my husband to understand that our relationship was not a power struggle, but I also knew that simply saying that wouldn't be enough. So, I changed my approach. I started reinforcing, in the little things, that we were still a team. If he talked about a problem at work, instead of just listening, I asked more questions and showed real interest. If we had to make a financial decision, I made it clear that it was something we would decide together, not just based on what I could afford. And little by little, I noticed that he started to relax. One night, while we were talking, he said something that stuck with me. I never wanted this to come between us, but deep down, I was afraid that I wasn't needed anymore. And that was the root of it all. It wasn't about money. It was about value. About him feeling like he still had an important role in our life, regardless of who made more. That moment was essential in redefining our relationship. In the end, true partnership isn't about who earns more. It's about how each person contributes to the relationship in their own way. This experience taught me that money itself doesn't define a relationship, but how we handle it can say a lot about the couple's dynamic. What truly matters isn't who makes more, but how each person feels in the relationship. My husband and I had to understand that our value as partners isn't just measured by income, but by the support, respect, and balance we build together. In the end, a healthy relationship shouldn't be a competition, but a partnership where both people feel valued. And for that, communication is essential. Maybe my husband is still learning how to navigate this change, but what matters most is that we're facing it together. What about you? Do you think money can affect the balance in a relationship? How would you handle this situation? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to React Stories for more thought-provoking stories like this. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update, and share this video with someone who might relate to this situation. See you in the next story.